Welcome back, everybody. Is the audio working? I'm in the scare. Here we are. 8 o'clock on the 21st of May. It's a Wednesday. How's everybody doing? Middle of the week? Yeah, Dragon has been posting a bunch of really cool fine-tuned models up in our Discord. So again, if you're watching live or if you're watching later, don't forget that we have a Discord. The link is in the description. Thank you all for joining. I'm Drift Johnson. This is Scuffed Epoch. We're going to be doing Latent Space live for the next couple of hours. We got a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. Over on the laptop side, I've got Quen VLM. I got Quen, you know the Quen 2.5 VLM that we use for all of our video stuff. Got it running on a 4GB laptop, so haven't used it for anything yet, but in theory it runs. Going to be taking a little look at the Open Web UI just to sort of ease that in, because as I say, it's becoming more and more useful now that we have things like Quen 3, and you don't need a big GPU anymore. And to be honest, it will run with a CPU, it just takes a long time, you know, it's not as fast. There's also other stuff on the horizon. TensorRT is seeing a bit of a resurgence, so I'm keeping an eye on that. Nothing to talk about tonight, but we're seeing double speed boost on inference, and they're talking about Flux directly. Not just like, oh, just image models, actually naming Flux by name. So it looks like there's going to be a NF4 Flux built for TensorRT. So can't say anything else about that right now, but we're going to stay on top of it. Alright. So the SVG saga continues. I've got something I'm working on which is pure theory, so it's going to be fun. We're going to be doing a bit of vibe coding, a little bit of custom nodes. It's all in the same ballpark. If it works, it'll be pretty damn huge. So let's just see. There is one thing I need to cover. So if you are using my latest custom node pack, so that would be the SVG suite. So unfortunately this new project will be an entirely new custom node pack because I don't want to make them wrestle each other in the same repo. I've gone the wrong way. So SVG suite, first thing, if you have it installed already and you use the manager or whatever, I would just come in, give it a git pull. There's one new node. Oh. Huh? Uh-oh. Well, that's an issue. We've got a problem. This is happening because I have developed the same project on two different... Man, bad Johnson. Okay, so... I think actually it's because I made those nodes on this machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be brave. Well, they say be brave. Simple way is to copy and paste or archive it. And then I'll just call this one old.disabled so it doesn't load with comfy. And then we'll just delete every file on that shopping list there. So this can happen every now and then. The reason is because I created the nodes on this machine and then I uploaded them. And so now, of course, even though they're the same, they haven't actually changed. Well, maybe the requirements and that, but I've rewritten maybe the requirements I might need. But like I said, I backed it up. So what we'll do is we'll just delete all the offending files that it's afraid of. Play project, is that one of them? No. Art grid is. Init requirements is. I think the rest is fine to leave alone. And then we need to go into the colors and get rid of those. Yeah. Just resolving a bit of a mismatch here because I've like done stuff and then not. I didn't do this. Anyway. Did I miss anything? Nope. So we got a new node, dimensions calculator, which is what I wanted to show you guys. So now that's done, I don't think I can just... It'd be nice if you could, wouldn't it? And just cheekily just refresh it, but it's cleaner to do a restart, so we'll do that. Now, the init changed because it was broken, or I never uploaded the new one. The requirements.txt though was missing something, so let's see what we've got here. Nah, it's fine, it's updated now. I don't know, maybe I've added the same file. SVG write was missing, so we had to add that manually. I did include Pitman, so once you've put the path to Python for the custom node, you know, where is it? If we go into Python embedded, there it is, that's the path to Python exe. You can actually use that to install things directly, which I do from time to time. It's quite a nice tool. So yeah, what I did was I found this project called SVG Render. Yes, we haven't said hello to everyone. I'm so carried away with the startup. Hello, Mr. Furnicar, Battlecruiser operational. Hello, Kurt Curtis. Hello, Apolloni Art. Hello, Dragon. Good evening, good evening. I've already talked about his models. Hello, Full Dive Media. I'm doing great today. Thanks so much. I do appreciate you coming along and asking me out every day, actually. Kind of like, oh, where's Full Dive? It's pretty cool. And Vascular Decametron is here to spank that. So, yes. They're all fired up and ready to go. Probably be swapping over the feed to the laptop. Oh yeah, I had to get like another filling drilled into my skull today, so I'm like, I swallowed the one from January somehow, so my jaw is like I've been in a boxing fight today. Because it was right at the back. Okay, so how are we doing on the import code here? It's there. I see a calculator. Alright, let's hope it's not glitched out. So, refresh. So, as we've been working on... Hello, Crozer. Welcome, welcome. So, as we've been working on a bit of an SVG saga lately, right? We've done a lot of research, we brought in a lot of things. And we've done a lot of cool stuff, and I'm always looking for ways to improve. And one of the first things I wanted to look at was a new sort of workflow layout. I always go from left to right, so it's nice and clear. But what this is something else. No, this doesn't have any diffusion. It's 100% pure Python. Okay. It looks more complicated than it really is. These got a comparison thing at the bottom. Wait a minute. The video's not changing. God damn it. Somebody kicked the cat. Luckily for us, we hadn't really done much yet. Uh-oh. We're getting no signal from the cat today. Give me a sec, guys. See, I knew I'd be crawling around under the desk before long. All the cables were secure. The cat is dead, maybe? That would be inconvenient. Alright, we got a real one. A real technical problem. This is a first. Do you think it's actually dead? I'm gonna try doing it again. Which bit? OBS. Do you know what? Oh wait, I think this happened once before. How did we fix it? Nope. Huh. It's just not putting anything out. Technical difficulties, ladies and gents. If it's broken, it's broken, and that would be unfortunate because I'd have to buy a new one. But it's not even old. Gato. There's probably something else going on. Let me just display. 2 displays. Yeah, see, where's the 3rd display? We didn't find one, he says. Oh. No. Nope. Nope. Sneaky bugger. When the stream breaks. Well, how do we go? How many did we get through? 145? Let's try re-adding it. Real capture device 3. Nope. Fix the video. blow on it. Yeah, to be fair, it might actually work. Custom. Wait. Hang on. No. Maybe if I pick. No. That doesn't work. I think it might be dead, guys. That is a classic. Well, I'll give you something to look at while I do more stuff. But it might be dead. Probably just have to buy like an internal card. Fully unplug it. It's not done. This is the first time it's done it, so I guess. That might be all she wrote. I'll try using like a different socket. Do you know what? It was working before we started the bloody. I do check it before I go online, so it literally died at the start of the show. Hang on. Something is happening. Hey, hey, hey. Ah, crap. Come on, man. Something happened. Oh! Okay, so these Elgatos are super sketchy. There must be some kind of cache in this thing. I don't know what that was about. I had to turn it off and on again like a couple of times. It doesn't even have a power button. You just plug USB in it. Right, anyway, with that disruption out of the way. Do you know what? It's funny because it was frozen at the start of the stream because it was still there, locked on the last thing we did from last night. Right then. Welcome back, everybody. Where there is a Johnson, there is a way. And we've figured it out. So let me just see now. Close all this. So this is what I was trying to show you. This is a new layout for the workflows, right? Basically, I put all the guts up in the yellow. There's the image input here, and everything else is in output, and it's stages. You don't even need all of these, but I'm saving them all, right? There's going to be a little four-way grid comparison here with like a little left-right swiper, and then there'll be some upscales of the main and the invert, right? The big thing about this workflow though, because like I said, it's like, if say I'm streaming, I built it, oh wait, it's not doing it again. Dudes, I'm zooming in. Is it dead again? Oh, Christ. Is it like 1 frame per minute or something? What's going on? Wait for it. It's... Hold up. Deactivate, nothing. Activate, nothing. Cancel, nothing. Man, so, okay. I thought I fixed it. So anyway, like I'm saying, this is my... This is my new workflow. Oh, it's gone, and it's gone, and it's gone. You can't make it up. We're having fun tonight. All right. I'm going to blow on it like a Nintendo cartridge. I'm doing it. Right. Are we going to play tonight? Are we going to play? Cat doesn't like me. I think it's... Oh, something's happening. Oh, put it down before it changes its mind. Oh. I don't see anything. What? No. Oh man, it's like somebody stepped on it, but nobody comes in here. So it literally died from being crap. It's alright, I got a year warranty on this thing. I literally bought it at Christmas. What is that? 5 months? That's all it could do. This one is, just so you know guys, this one is the Elgato 4KX. To be fair, we might have done, we can't have done 1,000 hours of streaming on it, but it's only since Christmas, but probably about 500 hours. Don't know. But that's not really that good. It's not that good, mate. Let's see. I'm going to try going back into the back panel. Because, yeah, great. Oh. Keep going. And then we'll go on Amazon and order a new one. Okay, so you can see the screens like move when it's opened up. So that should be working now. Okay, that is what we're looking at. We're going to struggle on, guys, but if it freezes, shout in the comments, because movement. Okay, we'll see how long we get out of this thing. They're not cheap either, cheeky bastard. Anyway, let's get moving on, right? So, best thing to do is just to show it working, and then I can explain what's so cool about it, right? Enough of the details and whatnot. I need to find a proper image. Okay, let's take this chroma image. I don't know what the hell it's going to do. This is made for, like, people, really. It's got face swapping in. No, does it have face swapping? No, it doesn't. There's no... Right. So the big thing about this, now we're back on Rails, is I made this node, the SVG Arc Dimensions Calculator. You can plug your width and height into it, but you have to put it in backwards, because for some reason it's inverted. The grids have always been inverted, guys. For some reason, rows are columns and columns are rows, and it's just... I think it's actually because the grid is sideways. Like, it's not... It doesn't orient like you think it does. It's actually sideways, but... As with most things I do, it's always backwards and things like that. But yeah, so you have to switch the those around. But like I said, it comes with a bunch of modes: aspect ratio, fixed cell size, minimum cells and maximum cells. I use it in aspect ratio or max cell size, and I typically do for 16:9. I'll scale it up so it's a little bit bigger. Sorry, a little bit smaller, right? And then what that'll do is it'll make it automatic. So when you make your image, it's going to automatically scale the grid so that it stretches up and then it never crops. It's always like, I don't know, like 50 to 100 pixels smaller, the grid, than what the input image was. So it like slightly shrinks, and then you can stretch it, and that gives you the perfect composition match. And like I said, we'll explain the workflow, but it's made for the show. This new format. So all the gubbins are basically up here from left to right, like always, but it's all like compressed as much as you can. So everything you need is up here and hooked up, all the resizes. And then towards the end, I've built in halation bloom and interleaved upscaler with cathode ray. And obviously there is a RemBG up there. No, yeah. But on this particular image, there's nothing to RemBG, if you see what I mean. Whoops, I just moved everything. Pin that. Right. So yeah, the idea is that when we're doing show, we can just look at all the different stages as they're coming out of the machine here. Obviously, this one I think is inverted, but obviously there's nothing really to invert on this particular image. Gives us a nice grid for the comparison, and then we get the two upscales. Now this doesn't have any diffusion, so what I'm thinking is I build all my grids and then I push them in as a batch just with image to image, so you don't have to do all of this calculation. So it's like the classic, turn it into a module. I'm gonna go like a better image. Yeah, it's got a person in it. Right? So as you can see, it's going to be nice. There's your inversion. I kind of like this new effect as well, the inverted silhouette. That's what would go into the image to image for other things that we do. And I decided to just do some post effects on this. Cook the goose. Same there. Right? And like I said, this is like a new experimental workflow. It'll go in the art grid pack when it's finished. We're still building it. You know, sort of not forgetting the other one that we've already done, the showcase loop, where we took all of those different stages and then did interpolation between them. What's interesting, I think, would be going from shapes to person to shapes, because now I got that inversion as well, you know. As you can see here, we end up with these two at the end, which we could just interpolate between these two, which I think would make a really cool effect. But anyway, there's all these different things we can do. So this is, like I said, part 2 of the SVG saga, as we continue to push the limits of what we can do with the SVG stuff. I do believe this would be... Oh, it's gone. And it's gone. See, I'm starting to rebuild a lot of workflows from scratch, not because they need to, but just because of this weird bug we have at the moment where Comfy will freeze up and things. It doesn't actually affect it working, it just affects you being able to look at the workflow. It's very strange. Anyway, we're done with this one now anyway. Say no. What about this one? Same workflow. Same workflow. That's not even a workflow. Okay. Not yet. Still not yet. This is very cool. The articles are up on my Svet, don't forget. So anyway, like I said, we've made all of these sort of cool new SVG art grid nodes, and we've been, you know, taking all the different layers and interpolating between them, making these animations with all these different things. And we've thrown through image to image as well, like there's a text to image mode, right? And it got me thinking, where else could we go with it, right? So that brings us to the vibe coding project, which is right here. Yep, we're still good. I'm just checking. I get paranoid now that the Elgato is going to fall asleep again. Just close her eyes and you'll be frozen on the last thing that we saw. So PyTorch SVG render is a repo, but it's for Linux. So the first thing I had to do was actually adapt it to be installable on Windows, right? Because, you know, yeah, all of the scripts are written in a certain way, so you've got to like change it. So what we've done is we've tried to create a thing. We've got a VNV and we're trying to do installation right now. So if I just see plan, what we're doing is we're trying to the weird thing about this one is I accepted that this works without testing it. Now you might think that's a bit, but the reason is because I was on my laptop, it can't run it, right? It's too much. The GPU can't handle this. That's why we didn't do that. Okay, so we're missing something. We're missing PyDiff-VG. I was just looking that up. Appears to correctly clone and build diff-VG. But then the system's looking for PyDiff-VG. That's true. Is it not in here then? It's right here. You know that moment when he's like, I can't find it, boss. And you're like, but you just told me where to find it. Does he need to have this? Oh my god, what have I found now? I'm telling you, this rabbit hole is deep. This is the animation stuff we were talking about. Life is just showing things to me. You know? Vector sculpting, painterly rendering, image vectoring, seam carving. Dude. And then generative modeling. There's actually a lot here. This isn't even what we were looking at. This is just something else. It's like, this is like a side quest, another side quest. Is he asking me anything? Yeah, would you like me to check where it's being referenced? Yes. So if I look at the script install, which is the original install script, where does he talk about that? Diffusers, diffvg. SVG, right? SVG path tools. I don't see him talking about it anywhere. Where did this even come in from? What? I made it up. I don't know. Okay. There's no such package on Pipey. Yeah. Look for PyDiff. He's going to look for PyDiff. Let's see if he's found it. Do you know what? Do you reckon he hallucinated it and it just doesn't exist? Could be. I see other people trying to find it online, so I'm like, just put him on that mode. What? I don't know. He just kind of froze up on us there, guys. "18 hours a day for 180 days. True. I don't even know what that is. It's a number. 200 times 20? It's a pretty good number. So do you even know what you're talking about, Willis? Come on. Has he found it? The installer is looking for PyDiff doesn't exist. I've done a thing. I found 100 references to it. Actual package it should provide is diffvg. There appears to be a naming discrepancy. That's weird. Why would you have a naming discrepancy in your source code that create a symbolic link. Yeah, do a symbolic link, maybe? I don't know, man. Use PyDiff to import from diffvg. That would be an interesting way to do it. Because I don't really know if it's the same thing. I mean, it is there, though. Remember, we saw it. Right there. PyDiff. Okay, I'm going to say that it's part of the same thing, because I'm just going to go on a hunch, because I can see it there. I mean, if it's a different thing, we roll the dice. 1. Do 1. Symbolic link to thing. Alright. We're finding a way through. Let's see if it's a new tunnel to the next step, or if we get our fingers chopped off. Is the diffvg already locally cloned? Pass. I mean, unless it's hiding in the VNV somewhere. Blindness. Inability to read. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say no. I mean, I don't see a clone of anything here. Nope. I see a lot of, wait. Nope. I see a lot of stuff. But I don't see that. I see. Oh, he's figured something out. I found the issue. The roots directory's requirements, not the one in PyTorch, says. Alternatively, this. Hey, in clip font, there's this. See, I did leave a load of notes in other files that we haven't got to yet. How you can't use my solutions from the future. He's cheating right now, just so you know, guys. He's reading files that have the answers in them. But I can't stop him from doing it, okay? I did leave the files in that folder. Alright. Because the thing is, the custom nodes have newer requirements. Because the thing is, like I was saying earlier, I assumed that the repo from GitHub works. And I said in the beginning of my prompt to cut down on dev time, I was like, assume this repo works and is installed. And then we'll start doing, you know, making the comfy nodes with the code and isolating the code and doing all of that. Which we did. But then this didn't install. I was like, joke's on you, Drift. You thought that was a good idea, didn't you? And normally I would check the repo before building anything. Normally that's like a golden rule, and I didn't do it because one, I trusted the guy's repo was stable, and two, my laptop couldn't actually run it anyway. The funny thing about this is it actually offers text to vector. So it has got a stable diffusion 2.1512 model that was trained to make vector images. So that's part of what we're trying to achieve here. So yeah, that brings you pretty much up to speed. There's probably other stuff that I've forgotten about, but the main thing was that new node for the arc grid that automated the dimensions into rows and columns, which gives it a more dynamic ability when you change, but you don't have to adjust things when you change the sizes, and it stops the misalignment issue from happening unless you want it to. So that kind of makes everything nice and automated. And so the next thing is, I want it to work so you don't even have to put an image in. I want to generate the vector in the first place and then do the arc grid and isolate the thing. And so yeah, that's the plan. It's interesting though, isn't it? They trained it on Stable Diffusion 2.1 base, which is a 512 model that everyone's forgotten about. It's really interesting. I think they did it by doing layers and then assembling them, I'm not sure. Look at this guy, he's being extra sure. See, the annoying thing about this is that you have to do all of this crazy stuff to get it all working. So like the installation for these nodes can't be good. This is one of the reasons why I was like, let's make this its own thing. Like I said, if the outputs are good, but like I say, no doubt. So join me. This is my experiment. And while we're working on, well, while he's working on it, because I don't really have to do much. Hey, he's done it. He's updated the thing. All right, cool. Let's do the ls. CD space pi PyTorch render. Oh, that's weird. It's putting things in weird places. I think this is dubious now. Because it's like not even in the same folder and stuff. Maybe if I move that folder into this folder. Weird. It's gone back to torch 112. Now it's on torch 27. You see what I mean? What's going on? He's like, I'm gonna do old torch, and then it's actually I'll do new torch. And then it's like, yeah, nothing works. I do love development with Python. It's so much fun. Oh, and then we've uninstalled it. Probably so we can install the old one. Whatever, man. I'll go with whatever it wants, because we should be in a... We are in a virtual environment right now, aren't we? It says CUDA's available. Installing PyTorch with CUDA. Virtual environment activated. Okay. That's a good sign. We do want the virtual environment. Oh, it failed for some reason. This requires this. You have this. Why is it running a dev version of Xformers? Wait a minute. How can it require Torch 2.7? Right. We're having fun. So, okay, so it says Torch greater than 171. NumPy greater than 1919. I should probably put that minus. Do you know what? I got a couple ideas for this one. First of all, release that. Second of all, do that. And see if we break everything. I don't really think we need to go all the way up to Torch. Where's the Xformers? I don't see that. Lots of fun, guys. So is it still running? What's it say? Can't find a thing that satisfies folder paths. Yeah. Alright, cool. Cool. Did we fail everything else, or did it actually figure it out and I've just broken everything? 2.7... Alright, well, I'm just going to run it, and if it doesn't work, I'll try it again. Okay, cool. The thing is, though, it's like... Well, where's the batch file at? This is going to be wild. Okay, so what's he doing? Check if Python, check if Git, check, create and activate virtual environment. Activate what? Okay. CUDA, install PyTorch. Oh, hello. It's nice that it gives a complete thing. Often you're just left in the dark on this point. So it's actually done a pretty good job, to be fair. It's probably because the documentation was good. Requirements, then clip, then diffvg. Yeah. Then diffvg submodule. Then diffvg again. And then pydiffvg wrapper. Where's he installing that from? cd pydiffvg. Ah, crap. See, that's not even in there. Right, this is what I was talking about. The thing that it just built to fix the other thing, it's not in the right folder. Wait, but where? Oh my god, this is such a nightmare. The thing is, right, the thing that screws everything up is that the script, when a script runs from here, its root is here. But the project root, which it automatically writes everything from, is here. So when he makes a folder there, right, I'm going to just check the log for evidence of what's it called? pydiffvg. Pydiff. No, I need to search this. Pydiffvg. Yeah, I don't see any reference to it in this entire thing. So there's no installation. Wouldn't it say failed though? Blows my mind, man. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be brave and just move it in there. And we're going to run it again, because gaslighting. And he's going to hit my new installation requirements and be like, because obviously everything is like, so I may have just broken it, but that's okay. It won't be the first or the last time. It should just go requirement already satisfied and blaze through there, only stopping to do the bit that it didn't do, which is like the bit we need. But yeah, easy to use. Yeah, indeed, Dragon. There's no fun in easy to use. It usually means you get two buttons, on and off, or on and by. Man, we're going to fire up something else. Yeah, we cheated him. Oh. Okay, SVG render. PyTorch SVG render. I don't see anything to do with the installation of this bad boy. No, I could just do it manually. I could just activate the DNV, go into the folder, and type it myself. But it should be running that. Miss it? Torch vision. There's no way. Aha! Okay, so it's doing something. We got a new numpy and another torch. But I did say less than 2, didn't I? I said less than 2, please. Oh, okay, now we're cooking. See, before it was like not even getting this far. Pygame? Oh, it failed. Crap. Poetry dev dependencies is deprecated. Crap. So close. Could not build wheels for diffvg, which is required. Okay. Let's just copy all that nastiness. We were doing so well. Just get to this bit here. And we'll go to this guy patting himself on the back. Here's a troubleshooting thing for you, he says. We still encounter the following issue. And it'll be, could it be because I moved the folder? Well, look, I always like to blame myself for fun. You know what I mean? Could it be because I moved the folder? Like, it could be. It could be because I moved the folder. I don't think so, though. I don't think it even got that far. I think it broke on something else. And this is fine. Poetry is Linux, yes. But that's the point. We're trying to see if we can get it working without relying on anything there. Switch to manual installation instead of this thing. Update requirements. Okay, go on. I just want to see if you can solve it. This is part of the experiment. Because, you know, we can write comfy nodes for any Python, but if you can't get the Python stack to run on Comfy, the nodes don't work, you know? It's like two parts of the puzzle. So I'm kind of looking at an experiment that's kind of more in the back end today. It's more like a solutions focus rather than a cause focus. Because I've often found in IT that the fix is easier to learn than the cause. Understanding the cause could actually be like a 10x type value. So I'm not saying don't learn what the cause is, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying like you can take advantage of that kind of thing at that lower level. And fixing it leads to the next thing. So but yeah, pretty much we're just going to let him cook. This is all on API as well, so do you know what? Yeah, while this is running, I'll fire something else out of the... So, Olama, our favourite. Yeah. If we go to the model section, something which I recently noticed, go to the newest, the Quen 25 VL, updated 6 days ago. The latest version, the 7 billion parameter, is just 6 gigabytes. Now, I'm going to be picking up, well actually, yeah, let's test that one. I've got the 3 billion on my laptop, and that one's 3.2. Works quite nicely on a 4 gig GPU, so let's pick this one up. So obviously you copy the thing from up the top there, and where are we? We're in SVG suite right now. Well, we don't really need to be there. Doesn't matter where you are, to be honest. Oh, I need to get a new Olama again. Okay, we'll restart first, and then we'll do it. How are we doing? Fix installation dotch. Does he even know what system I'm running? Watch this. Yeah, you're on Windows, buddy. So I believe in him. Oh, just write the report. He's getting smarter. He didn't bother trying to fix it for Windows. He just said, oh no, it's okay, fix installation. Right, so what I've done, I've written a fix installation thingy. Must be installed from source, not from thing. What? Huh? Yeah, but hang on a minute. Right, installation guide. Let's have a look. Let's see what he's come to say. Installation guide. Okay. So you clone that. You go into the folder. You run this. Wait a minute. Well, this is the same installation script. Activate. Yeah, okay, so far so good. That's the point we're up to. And then it says nothing found. So, but from where? From here? I guess from here. So he wants, okay, right, he wants us to do things. Whoa. He wants us to do things. So CD, PyTorch, SVG render, so we're in the folder, and he wants us to run, okay. Just, wait a minute. Isn't that what we already... Keep going. I'm already in there, I've already done that bit. I've already cloned it, I've already got it. Right, cool. So let's just do that again. Because he might have changed it, I don't know. Let's just do it again. And then we get to VNV activate. But obviously, if we have the problem, we'll see what happens, I guess. Okay. It's always fun, you never really know what's going to happen next. It's kind of like explosive development, I guess. Like fragile. He wants me to clone that, go in there, do that, it's a lot, because I'm thinking about further down the line how, you know, when you want to actually use the custom nodes, what, you're going to have to do all this? We'll have to make like some kind of automation to get it all done. But it's a lot. Okay, so it says Xformers dev. I don't even know why it said that. Requires torch 2.7, but you have torch 1.12. Okay, what else is it complaining about? Torch. I mean, the obvious thing is just to change the requirements so that it does do 2.7.0. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's not actually complaining about it yet. I don't actually see it listing the package in question. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird one, like I say. But it's not actually like an old project or anything. This one's relatively... Well, I don't know that. The node was updated recently. The repo was older. It wasn't like old. I think if I just relax the torch here, it's gonna be good. I would say though that the install BAP doesn't seem to use the requirements. It seems to have its own way of doing it. When it gets to the PyTorch stuff, it's got its own way of doing it, look. Which isn't great. Because it's not even the right architecture. So yeah, we'll have to change that. Because you'll want, what is it, 121 for 2.7, and then I just want to specify. But yeah, it failed to build and install diff, so let's see here. Oh my god, that's a lot. Right. Diff VG. Right, well, I tell you what. This is what he said to do. Don't blame me. Hey, it exists. That's a good start. Oh. Does it still break? No. It breaks in the exact same way, guys. This isn't good. It's diving me into a bit of a rabbit hole. Yeah. Can only concatenate stream, not to non-type. Alright, I'm gonna let him chew on it. Okay. After following manual instructions in the installation guide. There. Yeah. It's not looking good right now. Because if you can't install the back end, the nodes are useless. There's no point even talking about it. There might be a better way of doing this as well, so I'm not gonna... I'll take it as far as I can, but, you know, I'll be honest, in the past I've seen this kind of thing before. Yeah, it's like not loving it. There's some weird component inside of it. If you've got to build, anytime you have to build stuff, because it doesn't build, and it's like, oh well, I guess the magic spell is broken, you know? I don't like using those terms, but it may as well be. If the installation isn't straightforward, if you allow weaknesses, fall over points, opportunities for the installation to break, no one can see how awesome it is. He's still trying to write Linux, probably because he's seeing it's all Linux. But Python can run on Windows. It just needs to not be written in that way. Good times. I'll tell him to install it now. Yeah, I'll just tell him to install it. Because what am I going to do? Just have this weird back and forth? He's smart enough to do this. Off you go, my son. I want to do something else. So anyway, we uploaded Olama, we downloaded Olama, yeah. There we go. Yeah, you can do that, mate. Even though you can't do that, but you can try to do that. Oh my god, what is it doing? Failed. Try again, mate. It's tantalizing as well because the nodes will work, but then as I was making them, I was like, hang on a minute. If the back end doesn't load, they're all junk. So here we are. Because unlike most projects which we build custom nodes for, they rely on a pipeline backend which isn't readily available. It's not packaged and published. It's new. So we've got all this setup install nonsense going on. And if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, then you're busted. Oh, and I've run out of money. Hang on a minute. We need to buy more credits. We came to collect. Okay, we're back in business. Retry. Still failing. This could end up, now I'm at a point where if I see this hit $5, I'm out. I'm out. This experiment's over. Done. Dusted. Because it'd be quicker just to start again than, clearly, look, it's all because of diffvg. All because of, because you need PyDiffVG, which is part of diffvg. You can't actually install it. You have to build it yourself. So this is one of those Sage Attention, PyTorch Lightning, it's another build boogaloo, unfortunately. Some of them work, some of them don't. And, it's like a cool reality, If it works, it works. If it doesn't work, I can't fix it. Whoever wrote this put a lot of time and effort into it. We hope. We're sure. We're sure. Yeah, look, so still not broken. It doesn't work. I'm afraid it doesn't exist. We're chasing a wild goose. Yeah, I think we're going to have to get out of here. Yeah. Okay, so this experiment is rated Wild Goose Chase. I don't even think it's worth spending another... Let me just wait. He's trying to do something. I'm letting him do it, so... I love it. You've got like all these fixed installation scripts. Why can't you just make the installation script correct? It's like, no. Look at all this. Log implementation. Double the log. Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Oh well. Phoning a friend, are you? Well, let me see what else is going on. Because like I said, that's just nonsense. Here we go. So we've now got it. Olana run Quen 25VL7B. So let's say goodbye. Because, yeah. And DIR. Python guru coming, oh my goodness. We've been joined by royalty. So yeah, the issue is that this package requires diffvg, but it's referencing PyDiffVG, which is in diffvg, and so you have to build it and then it can't. PyDiffVG. PyTorch SVG render install. But we're letting him do it now. So like I said, I already set a threshold, you know. He's got 2 more bananas and then we're done. He seems to be spending more time writing documentation which doesn't work than he does actually writing code though. I don't know, it's something I noticed. No, I wouldn't bother, mate. A wheel for what? You could be hallucinating this whole thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, what's he doing now? He's lost the plot, mate. He's like continuously rewriting things, but I don't see any work being done here. I'm just going to see if he can get himself out of it. I'm giving him another $1.50 and then, like I said, I'm out. Because I think that he's got himself into like a proper twister. You found a wheel for PyDiffVG. Okay. You never know, might be able to use it. I mean, look, go ahead and send it. You know what I mean? I'll activate the VNV and install it, but part of the experiment is to see what he can do on his own and what he, you know, this is a weak point found. Like he can like go, there's like layers of recursion. This is a little bit like side quests in reality, you know. You have your main task and then you have your side tasks that you have to complete to get to the main task, right? And they often are like roadblockers or little subtasks that you have to go out and do, right? And what it seems like, there's a certain level of recursion he can go through before he hits a wall. So it's not actually that he can't do it, it's that he can't keep all those plates spinning at once. So, yeah, you can write Python script for a thing. Yeah, you can tell him to install a virtual environment, CUDA activate, blah, blah, blah. You can do all that stuff. But when it comes to, like, oh, and then clone this other thing and be aware of all of that and then build that, because you can't just use it yet, you have to build it. So then he's going to make a whole bunch of other stuff, and then I think he just loses the plot. And now what we're witnessing is like a terminal loop where he is endlessly trying to fix the problem that he can never solve. A literal digital goose. And the goose is wild. I don't think he'll ever get out of it. So this is what I'm saying, like often when this sort of thing comes up, I just sort of set a number and go, if he can't get there by that point, look, he's at 350, he's got 50 cents left. What is he doing? He's just continuously rewriting the installation script and then starting it and it fails and going again and then doing the documentation. To be honest, I think this has been a more important lesson in like the dangers of trusting somebody else's code base when you're adapting for another purpose. Because it could be that, look at it, it's all because of this diff VG and he's lost the plot. He's absolutely lost the plot, mate. I've not seen him do this before. This is the first time he's actually done it. He's obsessed with the old dependencies, but he's continuously trying to use the new ones. It's not just that either. Okay, so he says it's fixed. Let's see if it is. This will be the moment of truth. He's at 353. I'm not letting him take another spin because... So for Windows, fix installation. We're not even in the right directory. Yeah. Okay. Fix. Nope, it's not there either. Man. This is like kiss the crucifix and pray, because I don't even know what it's doing anymore. It's doing a fix. It still failed with the same error code. Right, that's it. We're out. I've had enough of that, guys. We can waste our time doing other things all day. It's not worth this. It's not worth the juice ain't worth the squeeze on that one. Like I said, back to the drawing board. I only spent $5 making it, so I'm all right with it. But I think that it is possible to get text to scalable vector working, and with that comes image guidance. So that means text to image and image to image, but we mean vector generation. There's all kinds of open clip stuff, yeah. But anyway, and there's all kinds of different projects as well. We were digging around and we found a whole bunch of new stuff, but unfortunately seems like it only runs on Ubuntu and maybe like a year ago. I don't know. I'll have to keep digging. But yeah, the main big thing today was actually the auto dim module, so probably going to take a look at using that next, I think. Yeah, maybe not. Wait. Yeah. I mean, what even happens if you put this into a video generator? We never actually got that far. I suppose it's time. I keep saying not yet, not yet. Let's go with the WAN. So Q6K WAN 2.1 image to video 14B 720p. We're using the FP8 E4 M3 FN scaled UMT5XXL. Clip Vision H. Let's say art test. Now, do I want to use that? Oh, wait. I'm just going to cheat to make my life easier. Real quick. Oh. I'm just going to make my life easy. refresh the page perhaps. I'm just going to make my life easier, and then it doesn't work. Good times. Is it still busted? Yup. Okay, well, this one I already fixed that. Wrong one. There. Right. Now what I want is I want the prompt to match there. So we get one of our outputs. What the hell? That's not the right one. There. It'll be broken now, watch. Oh no, good, right. So this is the final model output, or one of the images that trained the model. So if I now just take this, I'm just going to do it manually. Put her through the mix. And like I said, this is right, just for the stream, so we can see what's going on. So obviously we get our original image, we get our first art grid image, then we do the two various, like, you know, silhouette mask, inverted, and that's the invert, and that's the overlay, right? And then we put some effects on there. You know what, I'm gonna cut it on there. Oh wait. This one's upscaled, it's better. Much better. Super nice. It's kind of retro. Okay. And then obviously we have this one as well. Do both of those. And then we also have this one. And you can see there is a different. The difference is that the backgrounds lose their high frequency details and the subject gains them. So this is a way of controlling that weird high frequency patchiness you get in your backgrounds, which is common with AI. If you take a look at this image here, it's strangely sharp in certain areas, which is like, I don't know, I think it's a bit of one of the strangest giveaways from AI. Here we see the composition mode at work. You can change the size of the grid, but in the latest version it's automatically matching. If you see, it's not cropped, it's a perfect grid. Yeah, there's no cropping, and it matches perfectly. Like I say, it took a bit of weirdness to figure that out. And then we place it back over the top with the MBG overlay and invert it if we like. I think this looks kind of cool for promo stuff. Put a title across there. It's a nice effect. So anyway, having gained our effect, I'm just going to save it again. Let's go to the big WAM and just basically load that image now having been processed into the grid. And I just want to do an experiment and see what happens when we just do that. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to kind of like quickly get rid of all this nonsense and make what the prompt is asking for, which will be written here. So let's just drag that to there real quick. Hopefully it doesn't. Ah, crap. And he's gone. Alright. We're having a lot of fun. A lot of technical problems tonight. Let's see. Let's see. It would be WAN or WANvid. Not really sure which one. Can't move the thing. But it is running, so I'm not going to stop it. I'm not going to stop it. It will run. How annoying. Alright, well. While I'm waiting for that, let's take a look at those images that we just got. Because we are at that fun time of the week again. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. 2, 2, 3, 396. It's those two. I didn't forget. We were just busy. So busy we were. That one is pretty nuts. Yeah, it's moist and everything. Yeah. Okay, I'm adding that one too. If you don't know what the hell I'm doing, we're kind of queuing up for a nice little cap to end the show tonight. Obviously it takes time. So 7 minutes and 14 seconds. Oof. That's one video. I tell you what though, the motion is good. It do be good though. Oh yeah, that was a pretty cool little landmark thing. Yeah, we'll figure out how we're going to do that as well. I don't even know if you can do that. What's that look like? It's not going to fit on A3, is it? I suppose I could do like a white background in landscape. That could work. Yeah. What did I just close? Oh, what are the chances? Do you see what just happened? Ah, unbelievable, man. So I clicked where there wasn't any. I clicked and the red X was bro. And that was the comfy terminal. Gonna restart the damn thing anyway. Oh, you can't make it up. If you rewind the stream and watch me do that again, because I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be watching that one later. I can't believe I just did that. Literally, I think I closed the window and then clicked behind clicked on the background. I meant to click into comfy and it just killed it. It's like, no! Yeah, I guess I automatically went for the red button. I don't know. And yeah, thanks for getting somebody to come along there, Dragon, but don't worry, it was all it was actually part of a lesson on when to let go. Because I was trying to show like a clear example of when it's trying to develop its way out of a ditch and it doesn't have four-wheel drive. And you have to be able to identify that situation and have like a little rule in your head, like otherwise you'll spend $20 on garbage. Yeah. I think if it can't reach a milestone, you know, like within one banana, it's probably a bad seed, you know. It might just be cursed. You'll have better results by starting again, is what I mean. You know, that all of that meaning translates to just start again, because you won't get the same result every time. That's the thing. Or you will, but with nuance, and so much nuance that it's actually different. So both things are the same. Both things are true at the same time, you know. Because it is new code, but it's all old code as well. That's what it is. It's all a juxtaposition. Right, let's see if I can like not accidentally close comfy this time. Now we know that this thing is going to just break. luckily we've already got this. I just hope it's actually the same image when I run it. So run it, it's gone. This one dies super fast. I'm starting to wonder if it's actually my node that's doing it, guys. I might have to check my node. It is quite a new node. So is there like an error in here? Okay, exception during batching. Okay, what? Okay, yeah, there is something funky about that, about this node. I'm gonna have to put it up on the bench. Find out what the hell. Exception during batching. 1344. Sizes 38321344 tensor 8328323. So yeah, there's some kind of square tensor being returned somewhere in the code. One of them is returning width as height as width, and also the channels are at the back, so that's scuffed. But then that's why I put all of this crazy debugging in, so I could actually figure it out, because there's a lot going on in there. It'll still work though. Do you know what I mean? The prompt and the image will match. I'm not even sure. Like, it'd be nice. It'd be nice if it could tell me which one it is. It's got the problem, because you know it says, "Oh, I loaded them all." So it's actually, it says combining images into batches. I don't know if it really needs to do that. Aha, now we see what's going on. So for some reason the canny is 1344 by 2171, as is the pose, but the depth is 832 by 1344, which is probably like half, as is the mask, as is the main image. Oh, wait a minute, but if the main image is 832 by 1344, this is an upscale, or rather they were all upscaled. I think I know what it is now. The pose is not clamped at the correct size. Solved. I need to recreate the depth map. I need to recreate the control dataset and add in some logic to just make sure that they're all the same size at the end. Yeah, so it's the dataset. I've got demons in my dataset. Nothing I haven't had to worry about before. That's fine. And the thing is, it won't affect anybody else because it's my dataset, not the node. Good times. You will like the Python dude. He made a Python app to sit on top of Eve to warn him when the Reds were near on their way. That's cool. Gotta watch out for those Reds. To be honest, I spent most of my time blockade running with the planetary interaction stuff, because I was like, whenever a developer puts a new thing in the game, they usually buff it, and it was until they nerfed it, that's how features work. So I did play it for a while and made a bit of money. It was fun, but you had to have nullsec planets, or it didn't really make any sense, or unless you were doing it like full time, like a job. But it was a nice little twist. You know, go find planets, mine them, and then smuggle the goods past other players who are trying to steal your liver. EVE Online. Yep. May as well be Kingdom Come delivery in space, you know? Kingdom Come deliverance in space. Because that's the thing. People always say that EVE Online is like this nerdy space game for a bunch of like financial guys, but actually it's like insane PvP piracy if you go off the beaten tracks, which is nice, I guess. 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So eye candy time. Right on time. Look at that, half past. It doesn't seem like it, but there is a plan. So, folder. Now, these images were done with Flux Dev, okay? So we decided to give the Flux Dev a little bit of a test with the new Sharona character model. Obviously, these were all done with the SVG art grid, which is the thing we've been looking at the moment. And these are some of the newer poses that we get out of this character. So, in the future, we'll be having extra fingers. The backgrounds are supposed to resemble a watercolor style, but in a sort of futuristic, forgotten age. Oh, there's two. You get two for the price of one. She has the bear pose to make herself look big. Solving the age-old debate: man or bear? What if you're the bear? You can just be the bear. But yeah, this is a book that we wrote with our AI writing stuff. We did that a couple of weeks ago now, and we spent some time making an illustration model for the visualizations, for the visuals. It's pretty consistent. The only thing I'd say is that the face is like almost too good sometimes. The face isn't watercolor enough, and I'm considering like doing another pass on it to make it more, but it is recognizable as the same character. I do think that there's a little bit of color correction that could get done. Martin says more fingers equals faster texting. Yes, exactly. It's an evolutionary adaptation that gives you an advantage in even in modern biology. Oh, those people in the background are not canon. It's very much a sort of last person live. It's not really, but it has that aesthetic to it. The idea was to get dynamic backgrounds that had a matching style with a unique character, with a repeatable outfit, with a coherent face. Ah, I see. Thank you, Dragon. Oof. And what we're doing here is we're basically evaluating, what the outputs look like with Flux Dev, because normally we use Jaguar or another fine-tune of Flux Schnell. So obviously to that end, we did also try out Copacs. There are more of these as well listed in the Dragon has been doing us a solid and sharing a bunch of them in the Hugging Face section. So these were all made with the same technique. That is that's the overlay method, where we put these into image to image. Okay. And that would be a Jaguar, Flux Jaguar from Shuttle AI. These ones pretty good actually. The good definition, not very many errors, which is nice. Occasionally it over renders stuff, but it's pretty good. That's my go-to is Jaguar at the moment, and that's why we're kind of looking around at other things. So I think this one might be broken. I think this one might be Chroma. Yeah, this one is Chroma. Oh yeah, nice. They're in a different folder, guys. Yeah, of course they're in a different folder. So we did do a bit of Chroma, like I say, and the Chroma stuff actually comes out more like hand-drawn, if you see what I mean. So it's the same character. Oh wait, okay. Some of the early ones, there's no LoRa being loaded, it's just the prompt. So I think this might be, it's kind of jumbled up, alright, I do apologise. I think this is text to image without the LoRa. Whenever you see the fur like this, I think that's, but then, I don't know actually, I'm getting a bit confused about what's what. So I'll just shut up and show you the pictures. Yeah, Chroma did mess up a bit, like, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. I'm not going to ask. Most of the pictures that I would use come out very nicely. Okay, these are all the upscales, which is like post-process. But it's coming out, you know, this is what I mean. It's coming out very drawn style, very much drawn style. Uh-oh. Occasional no face. Some interesting poses we have here. But yeah, if we take a look at some compares of like different things. Some of these are pretty sick actually. It does draw attention to the main, so when you get your final upscale you can see a distinct detail buff. And some people will say, it's just refining. And to a certain extent they're right. But this refining allows you, allows you to control the colors. So we can apply lookup tables to the grid, not the image, to the grid, and then re-render it, and then you'll end up with stuff like this. And if you actually look, it is different. It's like a person here now. It's like a silhouette. And the detail of the subject has been increased. It's more vivid. And then obviously, like I said, this shows the difference between two different color. We've done two different color corrections on the grid before overlaying. And then see the difference in the output there. Same image, different grid. Well, same image, same grid, different color correction, overlay and image to image. It does actually affect the generation. Here's another one showing the difference between two color corrections of the same grid. You can see it's deterministic, so the seed control on fixed will keep it locked. So there's a lot of different things you can do. Here we've got like a relatively, this wasn't a very good generation, but after doing the grid, generation does get better. Again, you could just say this is just like the effect of the double denoising, but I really do think that if you look, there's a lot of high frequency detail. That means lines drawn, sharp lines, yeah, not colors, sharp lines. There's a lot of sharpness that isn't on the character here, yeah. So we convert her to an art grid. Now the geometry is kind of even. It's kind of even. There's no single shape which is larger than any other, and there's no single color which, because it's based on the palette here, so it's not going to, like, you know, it's going to do its best to try and mimic those colors. Right? We have our person. So that means that the only real high frequency that will be left is the person, because we're going to put the person on top. I've obviously done a face swap there, guys. Done a face swap. But as you can see, the first image looks like a typical, you know, it's a nice typical drawing that you'd get out of AI, right? But you can see there's a lot of there's attention divided. See, whenever it's doing any kind of sharp detailing work anywhere other than the subject, it's dividing the attention across the image, right? And so by doing this, it's kind of like blur. You see blur control net before, where you'd blur out the image and then denoise it and have it go again, and then it will rely on the model weight to reform the image. But what we're doing here is we're keeping the composition of the colors, so the early steps get the same information pretty much. They just see this as a bunch of color data. And if you go down to this one, we put it back on top. And so now what's happened is that the only high frequency detail, so sharpness, lines, black lines, outlines, yeah, all of that is only on this. And so what do you get? You get a very smooth and watercolor and the palette's under control. It can only use the colors from the grid. which is why you can, so then we can do all kinds of stuff, because we can control what symbols we get to make it more or less uniform. We can also control the palette. Right now it takes it from the donor image, but there are other ways of taking it from a JSON palette. And then, like I said, we put this over the top, and this is a 0.7, I think, 0.7 denoise. And as you can see, like, it's really gone to town on redrawing the character. Much better than this. Yeah. I think, anyway. I think it looks better. And, like, this looks like, I don't know, like a Hanna-Barbera key art or something for some cartoon. Whereas this looks a bit more like a Midjourney, because it's got all of this squiggly stuff in the background that you would normally associate with. I'm not, and this isn't Midjourney, all right? I'm just saying, like, that's typically what you would associate there. If I just zoom in on this one, like I said, we took this image, made a grid, color corrected only the grid, and then put the character back on top. Why have the shapes? Why not just devolve into color blobs? I'll tell you why. Because if there were color blobs, there would always be, mathematically, there would always be some shape which is like getting some dominance. I must admit, when we color corrected this, we've kind of like clamped a load of the values. That's what the lookup table has done. But what I feel is happening is that if you come and have a look at this, like if I look at that and I'm an AI, what's the dominant thing? Because we're talking about color. There's virtually no high frequency data there. You could say that the line, the edges where colors change could be considered high frequency data, but it's just one line. Normally when we talk about high frequency data, we're talking about this stuff. All this. Okay. But basically what it is what we're doing is we're using a kind of randomized shapes so that we could control the color distribution, because the original image doesn't go in. This is the funny thing about it. The original image does not go into the image to image process. This one does, and we put the person back on top. So when we keep the palettes the same, it's going to match. In fact, there you go, there's a person. Let's change the background. So look, originally she was sitting on a rock somewhere, and this isn't a photo, this is AI, right? But she's sitting on a photo somewhere. We do the art grid with a color correction, and I even tried to face swap the person. Okay, it didn't do a good job, but you see how it's now, it's like the reflection of a polished, like a bus shelter window. It's like changed what it is, but it used that. So nothing from here was used. And here's another one which I was showing everyone as well, was you have the woman walking away down the street. She's got two bags. We turn it into the thing, and this is matching, okay? So it's using the same color palette. It's like, poof. I don't know what it is. And if you look at the floor, we've got a very rough floor. And that floor pattern is actually quite significant. When you look it up on Canny, you'll see this crazy pattern, yeah? Same with bushes as well. Bushes have like a crazy detailed pattern. And I think that every clump, every piece of square inch of surface of the image that takes attention away from the thing makes it ability to go, this is more important. I need to get this right, actually. Don't worry about her face. I need to get this right. And so I think what we're doing is we're saying, see all this, because there's nothing geometrically significant other than the person. Do you know what I mean? The contrast change of the person. But we also get to retain composition, because this is almost like a depth in a way. You can see that there are areas of the color that are lending to this. And so what you end up with, when you put the person back on top, now you've got all the only areas of detail are here. So all it can do is go, I think that's a house. I think this is a house. This looks like a road. And then look at it. And this is the interesting thing. When I first looked at this, I was like, oh wow, it's increased the detail on the person, because you can clearly see, you know, her outfit has become more detailed. We've now got more detailed skin. Even the ear is slightly better. The hair is better. Everything about it is now better. And the background has changed. But the thing I didn't notice at first was the smoothness. So check out the floor here. It's now smooth concrete. And that was when I started to notice that all of this is soft focus. Look, we're getting natural soft focus, no detail in the bushes whatsoever. It's very, very like almost compressed, and you know, it feels distant, but there's no depth here, right? No depth being used. That just kind of looks like an out of focus in the wind type thing. Yeah. Now, if we look at the trees that we had before, they had loads of detail. Loads of detail. It almost looked like some kind of HD raw, right? But it's not better. Do you see what I mean? It's not better because it's sharper doesn't mean better. There's actually like weird halo effects around all the pixels. The contrast is all whacked out. So it's like, even though it looks good, when you actually look, it's actually not good. And so, like I said, background conversion. There is no high resolution, there's no high frequency detail, it's pure color, which is low steps, low frequency shapes. And again, you can control what shapes you have and all of this. Those are options in the node. I'm just trying to show at maximum random, you know what I mean? What it can do. And like I said, it's been crazy to see the generation. Like, here we go, here's a typical example of something I do. Mad, it's like excessive cables and wires, right? You can see here that it's like over rendered, it's cooked, it's blown out, right? It's like crystallized. Okay, so we do our trick. You can see it's copying the colors and the composition. We put our character back over the top and render him out. Now, even though it's still got that same insane Christmas tree sci-fi style, it actually does look individual wires now. Do you know what I mean? It's still crazy, but it's not just an over-rendered mess, which this actually is. Yeah. So sometimes it can give you a second wind on your character. Here's another example of the same style. See, this is trained on early Mid-Journey 2, Mid-Journey 3 concept stuff. So if you see, there is an element to this which is kind of like, I like it, but I admit it's like early AI synth art, so it's like messy, right? We do the trick with a color correction to slightly. Did we do it? No, we didn't do the color correction. And then the finished thing is a little bit more like it's been cleaned up a bit. It's cleaned it up a bit. I didn't ask it to, but you get it for free. Do you know what I mean? And I think the reason, I mean, this is kind of a funny example because the background was already flat. I had to like prove what I was seeing. So again, if you look at this guy, he's kind of like very Mid-Journey, you know, very Mid-Journey, and he's still looking Mid-Journey by the time we're finished, but it's a lot better is the only way. It's improved, considerably improved, right? And when you start adding in the fact that, you know, you can do all of this kind of stuff, and this kind of stuff to re-render it. And remember, the prompt said watercolor. The prompt had watercolor in the backgrounds, but for some reason it really focused on the ink line work prompt. Yeah. And like I said, this solves it, makes the character look consistent as well because we're using a face swap model. But this isn't with a LoRa loaded, and this is chroma as well. Actually got some really kick-ass stuff. Look at this Hyborian Age type. So no LoRa is loaded, it's just using one of my prompts. She ends up looking pretty canon actually, I'm not gonna lie. We'll put that in the canon section. So yeah, here she is though in the flesh. And remember, we haven't trained on chroma. This is model only LoRa loading. You can do that with chroma because it is a flux architecture. You just can't load the clip portion of the LoRa. So you can see here, we've actually made a mistake on the first generation. No arm, hand, kinda. And look what it tried to fix. It tried its best to fix it. Look. Not completely, but you know. And again, looking at the background detail, we have some strange roughness and sharpness going on, which is smoothed out. It's turned into lovely watercolor flourishes, which is what it's supposed to be. You see what I mean? Something which happens with AI generation is it applies an even amount of attention to everything. And sometimes you don't want it to be. You can prompt things like soft focus, you know, things like that. But we're not using, this isn't photography. So come up with a trick of basically denying there being any high frequency detail outside of what the character, yeah. Let's see if I come back out of Chroma, back into Folder, and into, that's the dev stuff. Do I not have a compare for this one? Ah, man, I forgot to build it. Well, that sucks. Oh well, that's okay. We are here. So did we get our video? It only took 500 seconds. Where is it? I want to see it. Oh man, come on, like seriously? It didn't update the folder, so I don't know where it saved it. I can't remember if it's WAN or WAN video. Martin asks, I assume you don't just use squares as it would most likely bring the regularity of the shape. Exactly, dude. That's why it's so good, because they're all like super layered over, and we can also add a bit of noise like in this picture here, which makes it look even more natural, like it's part of a TV show. That's the kind of aesthetic I'm trying to replicate, like an old TV show. A little bit of glow, a little bit of aberration, a little bit of noise, yeah. But yeah, essentially it breaks up the grid because there's all these different shapes and they do occasionally overlap. So, you know, efforts have been made to have a grid but break up the grid in different ways. And so it essentially gives it nothing to hook onto, but also gives it something. So it's like, it's not enough for it to just obsess over this, but it's enough for it to be like, oh, I'm going to draw a thing here now because there's that there. And it's a lot of fun to mess around with. You can obviously change the seed for the art grid so you get a different one from the same input. There's so much you can do with it. It's like a whole new thing I've been exploring for the last week. But yeah, let's take a look at that video anyway. Where is it? So it's going to be in WANvid. Alright, I'm going to make a prediction before I see this. It's going to get the initial image and it's going to immediately like mutate into a normal thing. So there's the original. It did go in like that. Let's see what we got. Oh my god, it stayed there. Oh my god, it's animating. No way. That's even better than I thought. I thought it would just ignore the art grid, but it didn't. And she's still moving. Well, that was unexpected. That was unexpected. I didn't think it would do that. It's actually started animating the art grid in the background a little bit. Wait, what's that at the end? It makes a little face up here. Oh, it's just a circle or something. Okay, so actually it works. Huh. I thought it would turn the background into some background, but no. It actually kept the image. Do you know what? I reckon it's because image to image has been trained to really listen to the image. So it won't deviate. But that's even better. You can take advantage of that. Now remember, this is my Halation Bloom RGB offset film grain version. So it's not upscaled or anything. Yeah. It's just straight. What's that? What size is this? It's SD, so I think it would probably be 512 by 768 or smaller, so maybe 360 by 480, So it's by no means a high-res generation or anything. But I just wanted to prove viability. So yeah, this works. I'm happy with that. I'm going to fix that in my own time. So that gives me the fun part of the stream. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do some printing. This is the part we've had so many technical problems. That printer had better work. We're gonna go with. Do I need to make a new one? You shouldn't have to. Just for. Spit it out, Johnson. Yeah, just to go horizontal. Do you know what I mean? Just to go horizontal seems a little bit. I could probably just change the page. Wait a minute, I'm already. Trust the process. Oh man, how are you so small? Well, it's not something that'll stop me. Oh man, are you sure this is actually like? Oh man, blow it up. Yeah, I reckon that'll be okay. We'll have to do her last. That one. Oh my goodness me, is it really that small? Everything's tiny today, I don't know what's going on. The power of Photoshop. That's fine. It's fine. Get some high quality blow-ups. Put them in the gallery. So don't forget guys, we got a live stream tomorrow at 8 PM. We're going to be on CivitAI Twitch talking about video training. Did talk about it at the beginning of yesterday's show, didn't mention it yet tonight. So look forward to that. There will be a ping and a link in the Discord tomorrow. So it'll be easy to catch. And like I said, I had a little hangout with the guy that runs their live streams. He seems like a cool dude. So we're going to run over there tomorrow night. So that is your sort of notification that tomorrow the stream will not be here. The stream will be on CivitAI Twitch TV. There will, like I say, link in the description. We will definitely, not the description, in the pings where the normal announcement goes. Right? So I'm not going to leave you guys in the lurch, but it should be fun because I'm hoping to do more collaborations this year, and as a result, you know, this is like a step in that direction. They actually reached out to us, which is really cool. So yeah, delighted to be taking part in that. And then in the middle of June, I'm doing like a careers talk at a local school. Should be fun. And then there should be more stuff to announce coming down the pipeline, but I remain tight-lipped. That's right. Because nothing happens until it happens. These are some examples of what you can do with the art grid and image to image with pre-trained LoRa's. Of course, you know, takes a bit of jiggery-pokery, but yeah, these are pre-trained characters in a pre-trained world, and we're getting these crazy structures because of the fact that the grid is being given more or less denoise. Eventually I ended up using ControlNet Pose in addition, and that was really the icing on the cake, but in these early ones it's just image to image, and just picked out the good ones. But like I said, the SVG suite is up and ready to go. It's I'm going to be adding a special workflow collection tonight, and we're going to be doing more Civics AI packs lately, because I'll be real, I put all my workflows up on GitHub. You can clone it, download it, git pull it, you'll have the latest and greatest immediately. As soon as I upload, you have it. But when it comes to Civic, you know, we've got to do a bunch of other stuff, like you got to write up a page, you got to go through the wizard, you got to have a bunch of previews, and to be honest, if I don't have those previews, it'll happen tomorrow. And if I'm busy tomorrow, well, we all know what happens next. Nothing happens. So, because the thing is, it used to be that I could be like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. But the thing is, one, tomorrow never comes. And two, today we always get more new stuff. You see what I mean? It's a constant cycle of more new stuff. So there's no actual way to think about the past like that. You have to go forward. Martin says, looks like a dystopian future hotel made from shipping containers. Yeah, that's right. I wanted to make a fortress wall that was so large that there were fortresses on the fortress wall going all the way up. Ramparts on your ramparts, you know, because they're an interdimensional invasion faction. So they're like, you know, their home dimension is insanely militarized and over-industrialized to the point where they have, they have this stuff going on. And it was the perfect thing to create it. It was the perfect thing to create that aesthetic. So I lucked out big time. They're basically British Empire robots with bucket heads. Robot bucket heads. That's a bit of Thora. Not Thora. That's a different chick. This one's Sharona. Sharona the Small. Yeah, Sharona's a new story. We did it from scratch not so long ago. I keep calling her Thora because Thora used to be my go-to female synth for every project I do. Obviously now we've got like so many different characters. I love this effect, by the way. I love this effect. It's my favorite one I've done, I think. It's just so cool. And it's endless as well. There's a lot that you can do with this, because you can make your own SVG icons as well. You don't just have to use the basic stuff. Apolloni says the sanctity of Scuffed is about to be invaded by the Smut Brigade. Ha ha ha! To be honest, all that stuff was always there. And, you know, it is what it is, man. Do you know what I mean? I've been on Civic since they opened. We all know what the game is. I don't like bother with it, if I'm being real, but I don't look down on it either, because it's kind of like there is a socio-economical impact to the adult market, which often leads things like format wars. You know what I mean? You know about VHS and Betamax, DVD, HD DVD and Blu-ray. Just goes on and on and on. I try to just stay away from it, because if you want my opinion on the smut in AI, right? If 95% of people using AI are using smut, by not doing it, you are now the 5%. Think about that. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. This isn't my point. My point is like categorization. There are things that you can do that will make you stand out with very little effort. And one of them is, you know, keeping it PG. Because so many people try to be edgy, and it's kind of played out. If everyone's being edgy, you don't stand out by being edgy. It's like a simple, this is reverse logic again. You see what I mean? Like if everybody's like dressing like a punk with bright green hair, wearing a cardigan and thick glasses, now you stand out. Which is funny, because you see what I'm trying to say? It's like kind of backwards. But anyway, I'm not meaning to go on. Like I said, I'm here for the art. I think that, like, again, I'll use the same figure. 95% of art does not involve smut when we're talking about categorization. And the 5% that does is tasteful. You see what I'm trying to say? There's like less than percent is like what I would consider adult. They're being edgy. They're trying to make some political statement. Like, oh, I'm painting with blood or something disgusting. You know, it's fine. You want to do the high art thing, that's cool. But I think that I'll just keep on doing what we're doing while they're all arguing about whether it's even art or not. Just keep making art. Yeah. You can get a bit of chalk and write on the floor. That's art. So I just don't get involved in that. I think it's sort of like, if you've got time to get involved in that, you should probably just be making art. Like we are right now. So let's just see what we can do with this. I command you, Epson ET8550 to wake. You must awake. Landscape borderless. Settings, auto expand, color quality is besto. Should I say besto quality? I don't know. Let's go with high quality. Wait a minute. How? Nah, it is just standard gloss, guys. It's not like. It's not photo. I think it's like premium. Let me just check. I love that it's actually like a standard. There's a standard. Ultra. Is it ultra premium or premium? I don't know. I'm not sure. I think it's premium. There we go. One order of premium A3 coming right up. You can order posters from me. Trademark scuffed epoch, but most people don't know about that. So this is premium. Let's go. Do I sell them? Yes. Can you buy them? No. It's fun like that. It's a little bit of a game. There may be posters back on sale. May. The thing is, what I like to do is extremely limited run. Dragon says, if you stick around, Drift is really good at accidentally doxing himself or showing his credentials and secret tokens. How do you know I'm not deliberately showing them, Dragon? So you can learn not to. Nah, I'm joking. It does happen. But it's always throwaway stuff. And besides, there's no secrets here. You know what I mean? We're not wanted criminals. So all of my personal information is fully available online, as is required by law, because I own websites. Right. Don't you dare say... Oh no. Done. We had a paper jam, not a space jam. For a minute there, I thought he was trying to go on about my ink level. I was like, I got loads of ink. What's that? Punch card versus paper tape. What did I miss? Hang on. In the city of people with no eyes, the one-eyed man is king. Exactly, Full Dive. The Full Dive said that 6 days ago. What? Hang on. Can we do the thing, or are you just... Oh! He's getting jammed. Okay. Flatten the paper. Pray for us, guys. Pray for him. Whoa. Okay. Well, I'm a little, yeah, okay, so anyway, yeah, slight printer jam nonsense, but yeah, it printed. Cool. We'll get some pictures up as well before the end of the show. Nice if I could show something on the stream a little bit more interesting, but, you know, we get one picture done, and, is this the part where it comes out backwards? Oh, that's good. Alright, cooking. We're cooking. We're going to keep the pressure on, otherwise it'll all go wrong. Okay. Nothing? Is that all you get? That's all you get, apparently. Should be okay. Did this the other day, it was absolute chaos. Yeah, he's like, you know, you do something that you do all the time, and then you try to do it on a show, and everything that could go wrong goes wrong. A bit like today when we started the show, the El Gato was sleeping to the point where he was just not working at all. It's working now. I can't even explain it. I guess the neutrinos went through his silicon again. The only thing I can think of. Did I just miss one? Ah, that's alright. It don't matter none. Come on. Computer can't keep up. What's the trouble? Whoop. Get that last one. Wait, didn't I already do that one? No. Wait, yeah I did. No I didn't. Yeah I did. Okay. Wham. Big wham. Where's my text thing? Where's my, oof. Close that. I have to remake that as well now. This one. This one. Showcase loop. Nah, that's just taking a path. But actually, just a sec. While it's printing out, that might be something interesting. So, this would be the typical output. Huh. Okay. So, original. There's 65 of these. Hell yeah. This just falls into place, doesn't it? So, okay. I'm pretty sure the top image is the original. And so this is the overlay. And then this is the upscale. So these are the same folders, right? Come on, go up one, please. I love it when the keys don't work. Okay, so whoa. What was the original? Original is just the grid, right? So then the next one is the overlay, yeah. And then finally, the upscale, which should be squished down to the same size. Oh, come on, give me the URL. Machines. You should all be belted on a big slag pile. Now this one is actually the last one, is what's going through the arc grid, and it is being clamped, but it's being clamped to like the wrong image size. So here we go. Or is it though? No, it's not. It's being clamped to SDXL, so it'll get shrunk down, thrown through the arc grid. So the final image makes the title image, which has the scuff text going down the front. And then, where's this one going? Look at him, Jota. You've used 0.01% ink. Do you want to buy more? Terrible they are. Okay. So it's the first image, and it's the last image. And it repeats. So yeah. So then we're gonna get that. Alright, cool. Save. Where's my project name? Sharona V4 Art Grid Dev. Because we used Flux. Dev. Alright. How many of them are there? 65. So I'll say 64. Now I need to set this to 0. So every job increased by 1 because they're all in sync, which we're just going to check now. So up 1, original 1. Good. Yeah. Let's go randomly through it. Up. What's that? What is that? 59. Up 59. Text to image. This is going to be a bit tricky, but it will be like 120 or something. Basically double 59. Yeah, there it is. So 1, 2, 1, 2. You see, it's more Hyborian for a start, and there's more that, like, it's easier to work with. This is still too modern, right? Every instance, it's made it more. It's gone towards Hyborian, you know, towards future, dilapidated, broken futures, not like London. London, 10,000 years in the future. I'm just messing around. So the point is, I think they line up. So now get ready for this to just like immediately disappear. Fingers crossed. Fallout London, yeah. Or just GTA London. That's what it is today. Fancy playing that. Right, let's go check the printer. It's been chugging away. The opportunity to print anything like any of your work, it's solid recommend. An A4, a nice A4 printer won't actually cost that much. Okay, I've got an A3 Plus, which was expensive, but it was worth every penny. So, yeah, it does some good stuff. Yeah, these have come out real nice. The colours are nice. Quick, before we curl up. Picture time. And I would say as well, guys, if you want to use like a spherical mask on the output of the art grid stuff, you can actually throw, you know, it's good for t-shirts and stuff, you know what I mean, like clothing. You just use like a spherical fade and mask it out so it can go on the image. Whoa! Don't throw it around, guys. Oh. Is that it? No, it's still printing. Yep, finished. Nope, printing. Can't make it tonight. Boy, where'd that come from? This thing keeps appearing behind me. I don't care that I know, I told you to print. It's like, you're using ink right now. You need to subscribe to HP Ink Club. Give us our credit card. Okay. So as you can see, it's doing the thing. Wait a minute, it didn't do the thing. It was supposed to do a different thing. I'm not seeing it writing in my my scuffed label. What's going on there? Oh. Wait, what? Hang on. Uh-oh. Oh, cancel everything. Cancel everything. Do you know what's happened? I know what's happened. Ah, fiddlesticks. Right, hang on. Okay, so put it back to 0. Right, fix it. Okay. I haven't plugged my new thing in, have I? You see? So, okay. It's a square image. Ah, no. And it was trying to do 30 to 22. So my label was off the edge of the screen. It got clipped. And also, look at the size of the woman. Look, she's been cut off. This is actually like an effect. Look, see? She's changing size. Wait for the first one again. It stretches out. Now, this is a nice effect. I actually think that this is something you should know how to do because it's a cool effect. You know, it stretched her out and stretched her in. Okay? But for the proper effect, what you really want to do, look at this. Out of paper. God, hang on. What you really want to do is have it all line up, right? Another picture, another photo for the road. Oh, damn it, the ink is behind me again. It keeps appearing, it doesn't matter what screen. Okay, classic. Right, I put a bunch of paper in there so I can carry on doing what I'm doing here. So, how are we doing on the credits? $18. Nice, I'll need that later. Right. Yeah, so what I have to do is I have to put my new node in before I start this big job. So we'll test it first. So it is dims. Can I get it with just saying dims? No. Do I have to refresh the page? Yes. Let's save it first. Save it, then refresh it. Yeah, so I've got an automatic rows and it's the node we were talking about at the beginning of the show. I made it today. It turns width and height into rows and cols, slightly smaller, and then you can blow it up and then it'll perfectly match. It's the best solution I've got. Because obviously if you have all squares and you have to find the best size, it's going to change slightly by about 50 pixels depending on whether you're doing tall or wide or whatever. And so I have automatic aspect ratio everywhere else, so I thought, why can't I have it here too? So we say arc grid dims, and we get the arc grid dimensions calculator. So we take our adjusted width and height that we're using to control everything else, and we go width and height like so. Get that out of my way. And oh yeah, I'm probably going to fix this so you don't have to know about it. I love this little like caveat, right? Rows are columns and columns are rows because the grid is actually rotated 90 degrees. It's something to do with the original author, the guy that made it. It was sideways, okay? And so since forever, see how right now we've got it on 30 rows and 22 columns for 16:9 landscape? It should be the other way around, right? So anyway, my workaround for this is to simply just cross your dimensions. Just cross your dimensions. And then rows is rows and cols is cols. Obviously, you could have kept width and crossed these. It doesn't matter. You just got to cross one of them at the moment because of the inversion, because the grid is rotated by 90 degrees. It just is. It just is. But now, if we put this on 22 and 30, which is the same setting I had before, but this is the number of cells in any direction, okay? So minimum 22, maximum 30, right? Now if I put this on maximum cells, yeah, and leave the cell size alone, I think that's actually for when you say fixed cell size. There's a bunch of things you can do on this one. And there's more effects you can get out of it too. But for this, this will solve the problem. The only thing is I'd say stretch for this one as well. Stretch. Because what's going to happen is it's going to make the grid slightly smaller than the original image. So in order for it to scale perfectly, you just need to stretch it up to the original size again. And that is, I think, the best way to do it. So let's put that one to the test. We should get a preview here. So it's 1024 by 1024 at the moment. Ironically, it's all square for these images. But the thing is, if you had a collection of images, here we go, look at that, that's much better. Look how many grid, look at the detail. Oh, it's actually better in some ways to do it this way. Because now we're doing, look, it's a 30 by 30 grid, full detail, you know, maximum resolution. We've got the scuffed label down there. Obviously, if you want that to be bigger, ask for less tiles, and then it gets the squares get, you know what I mean? The squares get bigger depending on how many you have. Obviously, more rows and columns means the squares get smaller. Okay. But ultimately, you will notice a difference as well, actually, when this renders out, because the grid size for the original animation will be different. So let's have a look at it. Oh, baby. See that? Is it different? No, it's still 30. I lucked out. That's just luck. But you will notice, though. See the edge? Is it perfect? It's actually pretty good here. I think the crop was extremely... It's almost unnoticeable. Yeah, it looks like I lined it up nicely. But the point is, this is automatic now. When it's on square, it's easy to get it right. But when you're switching between landscape and portrait, this will prevent your grid from suddenly not matching anymore. You know what I mean? And it will still be as good as square, I think. Yeah. So you can see the difference, like the movement is the palette. See the palette change? As it lerps to the different shapes. And there was a tower here. And then the tower's gone. Okay. It's actually, I wonder, I should probably include the first image that came out. At the moment, we're not showing that. We're not showing it. I see. Yeah, I see. Okay, yeah. So, okay, I gotta do something quick. I gotta take all the image to image steps, because there's actually more, I saved more steps. Image to image. I know it's the second image from every pair, so I can just do it like that. Basically, there were two images in sequence. Text to image comes first. Come on. Text to image comes first, so that one goes there. So text to image, then the overlay, and then that's the upscale, but we've downscaled it to match so that the animation can work. And then finally, we use the last image to make the first image, which gives us a loop. So, you know, I could say, you know, I could put it onto, one, or two, sorry, two. But I'm sure you can see it loops. You can see it loops, right? Oh, and obviously the amount of time it's holding can be changed by just repeating for more frames. Because we are doing a bunch of interpolation and stuff, the numbers have to be multiplied to find out what the final number is. So we're at 30 frames per second initially, so 15 is like half a second, but we're then going to double the speed and then half it. So we end up with a 60 FPS with a 50% slowdown. So yeah, that effectively makes that 30 frames, which is like 1 second hold time. And as you can see, it's holding for half a second, 1 second. It'll hold on the last image for a little bit longer because obviously we've said 30 here. So, you know, it's easy to control. Obviously we've got our last 60 there and our final interpolation here is 4. So we go from 30 FPS times 4 to 60 FPS. So double the frames, half the speed, you know. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So if we run this now, yeah, so now we start off with the initial image that came out. So it makes a bit more sense when the tower there, for example, gets turned into these shapes here and then gets re-rendered as a ruin because the prompt said ruin. Very interesting that this even works, to be honest. The new video is going to be more representative of what's going on here. Like I said, the other things that we found out that were interesting, but that's done at the previous step, is like color correction of the grids before you go in. So color correction before you go into image to image. That'll work with anything. You know what I mean? You don't need to even use the art grid for that. That'll work with anything. So color correcting before you go through, and then color correcting with intent. So like, oh, I want it to have this particular look to it, throw it through beforehand. And then obviously the whole like RemBG, so different style for the foreground to the background. And then obviously the pre-trained LoRa's. So let's see it. Yeah, that looks much better. You can see what I think it's pretty clear to see what's going on here. It's kind of nice. It's a bit like those old animations that we used to get, you know, that showed like the noise going into the thing, but it's got a little bit more of an artistic angle to it. Now again, like I said, you can generate your own shapes. I did like a whole version of which shows how to extend a node with additional shapes. I wouldn't be surprised if you can't make them as SVGs and then have them as like external files that you can like bring in. And this is something that I want to look into. So wait long enough, I'll probably make it. But yeah. Right, let me grab those last prints off the printer. I won't take this picture yet. Oh wow, there's a whole bunch of them. Okay, I feel like I already made that one once. Maybe not. I wish the lighting was better. Next thing, lighting. How to make better lighting. Lighting more better. Oh my goodness. How much did we print out? They all came out great though. What's the name of that video game that just got wrecked because they stole art? In the era of AI, they stole some guy's art. Can you believe it? I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. I was stunned. And it was iconography. It was iconography. It was little icons and stuff. I couldn't believe it. Bungie. It was Bungie. Oh man. Do you know what I mean? In an age where you can just randomly generate all that stuff overnight. I mean, look, I'm not saying they should have because it's Bungie, right? But they should have paid the guy. Apparently he even worked for them before COVID and they just forgot about him. I was like, what? I don't normally talk about like stuff like that, but it is kind of relevant because, you know, what we've been doing for the last, week is just making endless vector art with AI, and it just surprises me that, you know, they're it just surprises me, guys. That's all. I was just surprised. I was like, really? I thought that they would all be using like AI to generate stuff like that by now, but clearly not. Clearly not. Right, it's time to get out with the old and in with the new. Like I said, this artwork I've had in here for 2 years. I'm like slowly refreshing the portfolios, you know. And these ones were printed by, you know, like a local. I got a local company to print out my collection last time, and now I'm doing it myself because, do you know what? It wasn't expensive, but it wasn't cheap either. You know, they charge you, I don't know, for a good selection of prints, a good set, you know, you're probably looking at maybe £100 if you're in A3. Quite easily you'll get to that level, yeah, I wasn't feeling it. Nice people, but you can tell they just sell cheap stuff at scale, you know. So if you want the quality, you've got to go and get your own printer, get your own ink. The reason I got the one I got is because the ink doesn't go bad. You know, obviously if you like never use it, don't buy one, right? If you never use it, don't buy one. How about that? I don't think many people, everyone's on the commission. Here, click my link, guys. It's the best. I'm not going to tell you that. What I'm going to tell you is, if you want to do some printing, don't cheap out on it, but at the same time, I do recommend Epson because the ink is like half price. You can get something called an Eco Tank, and I think it's like half the price of Canon, which is the next best on quality, right? And like I said, if you don't need A3 or A3 plus, and you just want to make some A4 size posters, and we've even looked at hyperscaling, where we were chopping, you know, because you don't need to make an A1 print, you know, you can just put them all together, print them out in pieces. We're good at tiling here in AI. Half of our tools use tiling, and I showed that with the hyperscale workflows. So don't forget, we have the best tools, you know? We have the best, sexiest tools on the planet. Take advantage of them, you know what I mean? That's what I say. I'm just putting all these prints into a binder so they don't get screwed up. They were good. I'll be putting the pictures up in the Discord so you can all have a look at them. And they came out so good, especially the noise. When you start adding noise into your images, it's just something I just it's very good. It's very good. And what I tend to do is I have like a binder of A3s which I keep on a desk. So if I go to an event, I just keep these on a desk and they're just open, you know what I mean? And people just sort of come along and flick through them. That's what they're for. It's just eye candy to be like, Some people don't even say anything to you either. They'll like come over and they'll pick it up and they'll look at it and they'll be looking at it for ages and they'll be like going through it, really like really getting into it, and then they just put it down and walk off. And you don't know what that, you're like, does that mean you thought it was crap? Does that mean you didn't, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just one of those weird situations that you get into when you go to public events. To be honest, I do more school stuff. Just from like education point of view, I like to get in there, because like I just think about when I was a kid, you know, nobody was telling you, like my parents were very supportive, yeah? They knew the computers were going to be the future, right? So my mum and my dad, I was lucky, were very supportive. Right? But if you were looking at wider society when I was growing up, people thought it was a load of nonsense. I can remember people saying, oh, this will be all over soon, this is just a fad. They thought they thought computers were a fad. Like fingerboarding and fidget spinners. Hey man, it is what it is, you know? Right. Do they take them with them? No, they don't. No, because it's in like a big binder, so it looks expensive. So you're not going to take it away, but yeah, they're not for giving away. You know, they're just for rifling through. Some people are like, "Oh, is this AI art? Is it?" Oh, most people are really positive. Like, I'd never had someone come up and be like, "Oh, this is evil." Never happened. It's all nonsense that doesn't happen in reality. It's just for the internet, keyboard stuff, as far as I can tell. Like, I had one old guy said, oh, it's a bit concerning how much energy it uses because of all the climate change. And I'm like, yeah, but they'll build nuclear power, you know? So, do you know what I mean? Like, all the AI is going to take away power demand. We have power shortages. I could see his argument there. You know what I mean? I could see the argument, but I think they'll make nuclear power or dedicated power. You know, they're not gonna mess around with that. I don't think. So yeah, 64 of these, please. Well, let's say actually 63 of them. Put them on order. And then we'll get some, let's see, off topic for the photos of the art stuff. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there's 3 left, so we'll do. No. Stupid machine. Ah! Stupid machine. Ah, what the heck? Can I delete this one? Hang on. Technical tonight. Technical. This has been a technical roller coaster tonight. That's what it's been. Let's see. Down to the old off-topic section. Delete that one. Yep. Okay. So there it is with my dirty keyboard. So there are all the prints that came out in the end. I think they came out real nice. A little bit curled up at the edges, but that's my fault. I should have kept a paperweight on top of my paper storage. That it was just sticking out at the edge, and so it started curling up. Pro tip, put something heavy and flat on your printing materials. It actually helps to do it before and after. It helps to be flat. I think that the rollers kind of put a kink in the edge, you know, when the paper runs through. But also, as it dries out, the top surface shrinks faster than the bottom surface with gloss. So it's just a little thing to watch out for. I'm sure you all know what I mean. that photo didn't take very well. The photo's got artifacts in it. Oh yeah, if you're wondering about these crossed lines, I think I dropped my camera or something, because I get like a grid on my phone now. Yeah. But yeah, as you can see, there it is. There's what we were doing in the background. They came out nice. So A3, I reckon A2 probably next, but I only have A3 plus, so as I was saying. Oh yeah, there's the other one. See, these ones actually are the most fun. These are from the art grid collection that we've been doing lately, and these are actually the most fun to come out in the end. Nice finished look. Okay. And then obviously the Impossible Fortress from the Empire series all looks real nice. It's going to be actually a pleasure to go back and refine this data set, knowing that this works. It's like gives me the impetus, you know. Fernicar says he would take the art book, feeling ignorance. It's there for the taking. Yeah, to be fair, I mean, look, if you didn't stop him, it's on you. You know. But yeah, there's all those images from the print session, guys. And then this is just going to be. We got another one. Last video. Ready. Last one, guys. Oh boy. Boop. 1, 2, 3. Oh no, do you know what I've done? Do you want 60 videos exactly the same? Because I can sort that out. Okay, so 1 increment. Go. There we go. Now we're actually going to get different videos. That would be. Imagine if I'd gone away. I'd come back tomorrow and find 60 of exactly the same thing. I'd have been so cheesed off. All right, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, tomorrow, 8 o'clock, Civet AI, twitch.tv. I'll be there talking about AI video. It's going to replace our show because I thought it would be fun, and we're invited. So come on down. There'll be a link in the pings tomorrow, all things being even. So thanks again for the stream, and I am pulling that ejector cord. I'm getting out of here. Until next time, guys.